So if possible, someone try to share your AWS credentials to my WhatsApp. Yeah, let me share my screen. Yeah, thank you, Anil. Password also, please try to share me. Okay, thank you. Yeah, just give a second. Once I log in, I will share the screen. So on the fly, let us try to configure the tools. One second. Yeah, so let me share the screen. Yeah, so hope all of you sharing my screen. Now I'm trying to move to the Mumbai region. Very simple, very straight approach. I'll try to take the two servers, one for where I can install GitHub, Maven, SonarQube, and we'll take another server called as Nexus, and we'll try to integrate. Go to the EC2 instance, and I'm trying to launch the EC2 instance as Amazon or your favorite server. It can be Ubuntu or Red Hat, it doesn't matter. And we'll try to launch. Let me terminate this one and I will. Okay, cool. So here, I'm taking the Amazon Linux too. And for working with the SonarQube and Nexus, definitely we require more instance capacity. You can take the T2.medium or T3.large like that. As per our, I'm going to take T2.medium. So 2 virtual CPUs and 4 gigabytes RAM. Okay. So this is a recommendation given by the Nexus official website as well as SonarQube. The detailed part, right now I'm not going deep. Now I'm going to create a new key pair. CI CD server test. Now I'm going to create a key pair. Now we got the PEM file and launch instance. So log on to the EC2 instance using a git bash or mova extrem or winscp or puttygen or git bash or a command line, your favorite utility tool to connect to the EC2 instance. So just wait a couple of few seconds. So here we are configuring our server setup on the Imagine Linux 2. And Amazon is a public cloud provider and provides platform as services, infrastructure as services, software services, database as services, container as services. Now here we integrated uh, various tools on one single instance called as a Linux EC2 server, and how to launch the EC2 instance, and what are the various sections inside the EC2, like choose AMI, instance type, configure instance details, add storage, add attacks, configure security groups, creating the key pairs and connecting to the key pairs. Again, the module concept in the EC2. So right now, our agenda is just like how to configure the REST CI tool stack on this EC2 server, how to create the packages, and before generating the packages, once your classes are created, not classes, once the compilation is done, how the source code is handed out to the Nexus, not Nexus, SonarQube. Once the SonarQube is configured successfully, I will show you how to interact with the SonarQube and how to perform the static code analysis on CI/CD server. It takes a couple of seconds, guys, and meanwhile try to SSH. SSH is a secure shell protocol. Using port 22, we are trying to connect into the mobile data center where our instance is running as a server. And in order to connect into the EC2 instance, let us go to downloads and right click and get bash and paste. Yes, it's connecting. Now I'm logging as a root, sudo su hyphen, login as a root user. Then let me try to update all packages. Sudo update -1. Then let us try to install the 1.8 JDK. Go through the documentation. So by default, Amazon come up with the 8, or if you want to work with the 11, also can install the 11. Yes, go to and try to install 1.8. And here one tip I want to share here. Suppose as per multiple applications, for example, you're deploying two applications. Both two applications are written same language, Java, but one application using JDK 1.8 and another application using JDK 11. So same different versions of the same language you have to set up into your EC2 server to deploy your applications, two different applications. So for that, how can I? That's why in the Maven there is a profiles concept. In the Maven side there is a build profiles. You need to configure the various versions. Suppose if the particular application X it is, you need to configure the 1.8, and if it is a Y application, you need to configure the 11, right? So once you install 11 and 8, if you want to switch over to the previous version, for example, in my operating system, I have two versions are there. One for JDK 8 and JDK 11, for example, right? So right now, if I say Java double hyphen version, right now it is 1.8, right? Let us try to install 11. See, I'm trying to install 11 with Mjon Linux extras, install Java OpenJDK 11. One second. So, see, now it is trying to install JDK 11. The two versions of the Java we install on the same operating system. One for 8, one for 11. Now, if we go and Java version, see, there is a 1.8 only install. But I want to switch to my JDK 11. How can I? That's why if you go to the command, there is alternatives command is there. See, if you want to switch to your version, you try to fire this command, alternatives double icon config. You just run this. See, it is asking, hey, there are two versions in your operating system. One for 8, one for 11 is there. Now it is asking enter to keep the current section plus or type section selection number. If it is a 1, it will only select 1.8. It is a 2, it is also 1.8 OpenJDK. If it is a 3, 11. If I say 3, automatically 11 will be updated to the environment section. So always keep this point, okay? So let me remove the remove. So once I set the JDK, I want to set my environment variables VI. Let us try to find out where exactly JVM was installed, because as I know, so after Java installation, we need to set up the home path of our Java. For that, we need to find out where exactly JRE exists. So in the beginning, I said to configure two things. If you want to configure the applications and if you want to deploy the application, understand the application architecture is very important. So one is a JDK and one is a JRE. So not only JDK and JRE, you need to talk so many things. But as per the current example, if you want to run our Java-based applications on your server, production servers or any server, we need a JRE. JRE stands for Java Runtime Environment. JRE contains a JVM, Java Virtual Machine. So it is the heart of the Java to manage our applications. And also it provides heap memory and stack memory. And without JVM, you cannot run our Java application. So what is enterprise architecture and how this enterprise architecture looks like in JDWE? And what is a microservice architecture, how the microservice architecture is designed in Java, how this microservice architecture is how Docker and Kubernetes exactly fit for microservices, we'll discuss later. I'm trying to find out my JRE existence. Let us try to configure this as a Java home path under user.bash profile bash underscore. For beginner to the Linux, you can't understand. but one thing I'll tell you on the fly. In order to set up, it means to recognize the software by the operating system. You need to set environment variables. Environment variables must be in the capital letters. Just paste it. Now, so let us try to 1 second, guys. Yeah, just looking at. Yeah, so let us try to. So we try to. Oh, to give. Means I'm going to set the Java home path to the operating system. Whenever you run any command against the Java from the OS will automatically detect. It's not only Java. If you set up the Maven or other, if you want to work for any other software with the operating system, we need to set up the environment variables. We'll discuss in the shell script also. There are two types of environment variables. One is a built-in environment variable and user-defined. Built-in also called as a system-defined. In the Linux, most of the times, you need to create the environment variables in capital letters. WQ. So now, once your home path was set to this profile, you need to set up. You need to permanently set. For this, I want to run this command source. So now go and check your Java home path. So what is source command? What is a tilde? What is a dot bash profile? We'll discuss in the Linux. That's why two sections. Finishing the pipelines, working with the tools, both are different, guys. So it's a matter of 3 to 4 hours to set up the entire DevOps tool stacks and explain the total ability of the CI/CD pipeline. But if you want to become expert in the troubleshoot, if you don't delve into the each and every tool, sorry, can't help you. Okay, my Java was set. Now, if you go and check your Java version, okay, next try to install the git yum install -git. Okay, now try to download your Maven. So go to here. I want to so Maven is the software which is developed by Apache. So of course, every tool has its own architecture and tips and bullet points we'll discuss later. So in order to automate the build process, we use a Maven. I extensively explain on-the-fly explanations. So just go through that in the Maven section. For me, build automation is always very essential, guys. In Maven, we need to learn so many things like. So let us try to take this binary tar.cz. I'm trying to copy the link from this website. I'm trying to download. Before this, move to the OPT directory and try to download the tar.gz from the internet. For this, I'm using wget. Sometimes wget command may not work for you because wget is not a internal command. It should activate as external commands. For that, you need to generate the package. Sorry, you need to download the package. For this, yum install wget, guys. Go and see the ls. Now your application, your package is stored in the saved in the form of tar.gz. Try to use a tar command in order to extract as a folder. Now see rm -rf apache maven. So now I'm trying to rename it to my Apache maven to the maven. V command, move command, right? Yeah. So go to the what next? We need to set up the environment variables to the bash profile so that whenever you fire any maven related command, the Linux need to be understand. For this, go to the .bash profile. Now I'm just going to sorry guys, you may get some kind of noise. Please bear me. I set the path. I set the m2 underscore home and m2. These are the two standard variables required to recognize the maven home path. And exit. Now to set up this profile. Source is one of the inbuilt-in shell command to set up this environment variables permanently. Instead of exit and again log in it, you fire the source command. Now let us try to download my source code from the GitHub. And before this, mvn-version. See, this is a maven home. The current version is 3.86. Maven home is OPT maven, and it is using JDK 1.8. Okay. Now let us try to download the source code from the GitHub and try to perform maven lifecycle. So like how to compile the code and how to do static code analysis using SonarQube, then how to generate the packages. Once the packages are generated, we will try to launch the one more virtual server and we try to deploy the generated artifact where to the Nexus. Before that, let us try to download your SonarQube, because Java was installed successfully, Git was installed successfully, Maven also installed successfully. Now I would like to install SonarQube, right? So for this, let us go this SonarQube. So yeah, I'm trying to download the SonarQube 7.8. And to explain the SonarQube, SonarQube is a open source Java platform. It's an open source tool written in the Java. It supports almost 13 languages, 13 languages, and it can work with the multiple browsers. It can work with the multiple operating system. It supports the major databases to store our static code reports, static code quality analysis reports. The architecture is very simple. When you submit the source code to the SonarQube using SonarQube scanner, SonarQube scanner is going to scan the uh, code based on the condition we define it at the tool level, as well as need to be configured inside the pom.xml file. And the scanner is going to scan our conditions, and accordingly it will try to validate, and if everything goes well, it produces the reports in the databases. Of course, it's a positive results or negative results. So here to work with the SonarQube, SonarQube server is trying to run on the 9,000 ports. I said right, default port is 9,000, and default user is I think so admin. You can also rechange your user credentials, and you need to create a kind of project configuration at the Nexus, sorry, at the SonarQube. It means how to scan the project by the SonarQube, how the SonarQube is going to extract our project, then how the SonarQube is going to generate the reports about the bugs, vulnerabilities, and code duplication, code coverage, cyclomatic complexity. A lot of big stuff is there. So let us try to download the, what will you get? Yes, it's going to be downloaded as a zip. The SonarQube is available as zip. If you want to unzip it, there is a command called unzip. Unzip. Yes, it's extracted as a folder. Now we got the SonarQube 7.8. So I'm going to remove right. I'm trying to rename it. SonarQube. So go to SonarQube directly. Here, one thing we have to understand, guys, whenever you install the SonarQube, SonarQube is a server. And always remember, right, as per the documentation, as per the nature of the tool, whenever you configure the tools on the server side, normally it won't directly allow the normal user to access it, because a kind of authentication is required. That's why I always feel it user administration is one of the key role in the any tool, including on-premises and cloud. Here by default, a normal user cannot able to, root user may not able to allow you straight away. For that, you try to create your own user and try to change the permissions and try to change the ownership. That's why you have to understand ch1, change ownership, change mode, ch mode, then how you get the access permissions on each and every file level and directory level using getAPCL, setAPCL, how to create the user, like user add, user mod, user del, group add, group mod, group del, last week, then password information, how you securely store your password, encryption, decryption, and lot of environment variables. That's why user administration is very essential, even in the Nexus or SonarQube or GitHub or Jenkins or Helm or Docker Hub or IAM concept in the AWS environment. So now, what I'm trying to say, I'm trying to create the user as per the security practices. This is not my note, it's a documentation note. I'm trying to create the user as a Sonar. want to cross verify cat /etc/password. So whenever users are created, all users are saved in this file, like this Sonar is the user ID, like group, UID, group ID, home /home Sonar, and particular shell was associated. Now, once you create the user, try to give the sudo access to the SonarQube. That's you should understand sudo, vsudo, su hyphen, and etc environment, etc profile, bash profile, okay, /etc sudo ers files, /etc skeleton. That's why on the fly learning. If you want to understand the system, you have to deeply dive. Otherwise, on the fly. Okay, go to the vsudo. I'm just adding my user as a Sonar to this root level, so that whenever you log in as a Sonar, it doesn't ask the password. vsudo is one of the great file for the administrators. Sonar, all is equal to all, and you should give no password colon. And right. So it doesn't ask the passwords. Escape colon. We set we create the user as a Sonar, and we add the Sonar into the root sudo list, so that Sonar user doesn't require login at the time of login. Next, try to change the ownership for the particular directories. So ch1, right? Next, give the complete read write permission for the user and group, and read and write permission for others using chmod command. Just like setting the permissions. That we'll discuss in the learning. So what is the chmod, chmod? Okay. Okay. Next, login as a root user and cross verified. Now I'm logging as a root. Sir, I'm logging as Sonar. SU icon. Sonar. CD OPT. See, CD SonarQube and PWD. So right now I'm in the OPT SonarQube directory. So go to the bin directory. CD bin binary. Under binary, our supporting operating system process architecture is 64-bit architecture. See, there is a sonar.ssh is there. So Sonar is a server. So let us start the Sonar. So under root level, under this directory, there is a sonar.sh. Let us start. Now SonarQube is started, and let us verify the status. SonarQube is running. So once Sonar is running, let us try to set the default port for the SonarQube, because I want to access this SonarQube from the GUI. For this, you have to set the environment. Sorry, you have to set the inbound rule. Go to the security group and go to the inbound rules and edit inbound rules and add roles. There is a 9000 port I'm going to set, which is access with your my IP or anywhere as per your custom CIDR block. Just save the rules. So whenever EC2 instance was configured with inbound rule as a 9000, now as a user, I would like to test this web UI, whether I'm able to access the SonarQube dashboard from the UI. IP address with port number 9000. Okay, this site is not secure. Let us click on continue to site.
Maybe we haven't allowed security group.
Go to this inbound rules. Oh, sorry. 9,000 only, right? Yeah, it's all the opponents, right? So let us try to yes, it started right. It is yeah. SonarQube is see I'm able to access my web UI. One more thing is, see, whenever you enter URL at this address bar, you got the not secure. Then we have to set up your HTTPS and SSL certificate. That's we'll see later. So wait, it takes a couple of minutes. So before that, just let us try to log on to my GitHub. So let us try to log in to the GitHub to work with my code repository. This is mine, and yes, I log into my GitHub account, and this is my repository where I want to work with this. In this repository, I have a test files and code files. Let us take our Java code from the GitHub repository. Go back to the EC instance. And let me go to my root folder, opt. Now here, let us try to clone the code from the Git using git clone command and give the Git. Okay, sorry, I should exit because I'm in the root user, sorry, Sonar user level. And right now this, now try to clone it using git clone command and try to paste it. Right, so when I clone this, now see I have a pet clinic code. I have a pom.xml file where it is, this is pom.xml file, right? This is. Now let us try to cross verify whether file is valid or not using this men command. Because Maven is different tool, we'll discuss later how to automate the build, what is the Maven architecture, Maven plugins, Maven dependency, Maven profile, build automation, release automation, and how you perform the Maven lifecycle, default lifecycle, clean lifecycle, site lifecycle, and what is the deployment release automation. Guys, try to excuse me because you may get some external voice because I'm staying in PC. So some kind of external interference will be there. So let us try to access our website. See, still it is running. Take some seconds. No, maybe it takes some couple of seconds. See, all systems are all posted. Go to the home, and by default, guys, see continuous code quality. So by default, you need to log in as a root user with admin, guys. Just click on login. When you click on login, it is asking the admin user. Password is admin and admin. Just click on login. Username is admin. Password is also admin. And I think so later you can change this password. Wait. Now see in this my in this present working directory my file is valid. My file is valid. So what we need to do here is what we need to do. Before that, you just go to this. See, I log in as a root user. Admin is a username and admin is a password. Whenever users are created, so whenever you log in as a user, and let us, if you want to change the password, you can change the password also. Just click here, go to the My Account, and if you scroll down, see there is an admin. Groups, Sonar is administrator. Sonar users are there. Even you can manage the admins also. So before this, right now, I don't have any projects, guys. You can create the projects and you can submit the projects to this SonarQube for source code analysis. Okay. Then we will create the one second. So you try to see. So what we need to do now, my server is set up with the Git, Maven, and SonarQube. My SonarQube server is started, and in order to generate the bill, you have to run the Maven lifecycle. In order to generate the bill, you have to perform some Maven commands, guys. Okay. So on top of this directory where I am, right now I'm in the pet clinic project. If you go and see ls, we have list of files called as a pom.xml file. If you want to set the not set, if you want to generate the package, always remember one thing on the fly. If you want to generate the build with the Maven always require a build file called as a pom.xml file. This file is nothing but pom.xml file. Now you need to perform some commands. Like first I have to perform compile, mvn compile. స్వామి ఒక్క 10 నిమిషాలు ఆగండి స్వామి, ఒక్క 10 నిమిషాలు అయిపోయింది, నేను ఆపేస్తాను. So first let me perform mvn compile. Whenever you Minister. Sorry guys. Thank you. I changed the room. So the key point here is once the compilation is done. Always remember it. What is our agenda? I want to submit my source code to the SonarQube server. If I really submit my source code to the SonarQube server, how the SonarQube server is going to get the code from the Maven, right? So that's why we have to configure a Sonar plugin inside the Maven. That's why right now I don't want to talk about the Maven lifecycle. What is a Maven lifecycle? Collection of phases, collection of plugins, collection of goals. But one thing I'll tell you very clearly. So it's an integration environment. So Maven and Nexus should talk logically. If Maven and SonarQube talk logically, then only Maven is going to submit the source code to the SonarQube server. So whenever SonarQube server get the source code, SonarQube is going to start the analysis. So for scanning the analysis, for performing the analysis, for finding the quality in the source code, we need to set up some files. Very common sense, guys. In entire CI/CD pipeline, if you want to work with any tools, 60 to 70% configuration integration is very important. For this, we need a build file, we need a Jenkins file, we need a Docker file, we need a Kubernetes files, we need a Helm repositories, and we need some ports, we need some sockets, we need protocols, we need some user access permissions and administration part, server accessibility, server running, services required. That's why from the beginning I'm repeating 60 to 70% of the fundamentals of networks, storage, security, operating system, plugins and configurations and administration, all this stuff is required. Otherwise you cannot perform. Okay, so now I compile it. When you compile it, how my SonarQube is going to scan the source code? Now see, I'm firing a command file as mvn sonar:sonar. mvn sonar:sonar. So Maven is going to support the plugin called Sonar plugin. So you have to configure the Sonar plugin inside the pom.xml file. That's why a lot of people I was last 6 years and 7 years once I shifted to the DevOps from the 2014 onwards. So who come from the non-IT backgrounds or who are coming to the IT first time, definitely they don't know anything about Maven. They simply configure the Maven inside the Jenkins. They are running some Groovy code and they are running. But who come from the Java background, who are already into the integration frameworks like Selenium or other frameworks, they know very well about how power of Maven, what is a Maven dependency scopes, profiles, and mirrors, and how to configure the SonarQube, how to configure various frameworks like a JUnit and a TestNG and other Tomcat, and also a lot of GitHub and SVN repositories and whatnot. So a lot of things, even build automation, release automation. Generally, most of the people never understand release automation, but in the real time, release is more important. That's when there are two types of repository you have to understand. One is the snapshot repositories and release repositories. Now I'll tell you, I will show you within 10 to 15 minutes how the release repositories will work out in the industry and how you differentiate the particular code is particular output is snapshot repository or particular output is release repository. So how can you say that your build is under development? How can you say that your build is so stable? How can you say that build is ready to deploy into the production? How can you mark the particular build as a release? Got my point? No. Maximum MVN deploy, MVN Tomcat on deploy. That's it. And they'll go to the Groovy code and they'll write down 4 to 5 lines of stages in the Groovy, and I know Jenkins and I know the Docker. It never worked, you man. There are a lot of digging you need to understand, lot of configuration, lot of subject is there. Let us try to perform this command. Now see, our Maven is going to scan the source code. So what we done, guys, please try to mute your end. One of guest user who. Okay, so to do one thing, not to do, sorry. What we done till now, we create the virtual server on the AWS as a image on EC2 Linux. On top of it, we install the JDK, Git, Maven, and SonarQube. And we create the Sonar as a user. We set up the permissions and we started the SonarQube. And we change the secure inbound rules as a 9000. We are able to access the dashboards. Then we come back to the Maven and we are performing MVN sonar colon sonar. With a single command, it doesn't work out. Of course, finally we are running, but before working this, how this Maven sonar colon sonar is going to work, then how the Maven and SonarQube is going to communicate, and what is the Maven sonar attributes, what kind of sonar attribute was required, especially in the morning hour. Anil is asking simply superb question, right? That's why I said, right, DevOps is a kind of global role. You should not stubborn to the one specific area called as a Docker, Kubernetes, or Terraform. No. So you need to understand the whole application lifecycle. So if you speak technically, if you speak ethically, as per the application requirement, each and every piece of code, each and every piece of team, each and every piece of network is going to be impact on us. So if you don't understand how these all the things are integrated in a proper synchronized line, obviously Bill is going to break it. If Bill is broken, then as a DevOps engineer, you have to take the hammer and you have to fit it. So that's why we have to use different tools in order to scrutinize your loopholes, where exactly the blind spots are created, how this life cycle is broken. Now go. Now see. Uh, See, the project is the SonarQube is going to scan the entire Java source code, and it is generating the reports. Even apart from the SonarQube, there is a there is a different plugins are there, right? Like JXR plugin, then Kobatura plugin, Jaco plugin, and there is a check style plugin. There is a PMD, CPD. That's why continuous integration. If you take Git, GitHub, Maven, Nexus, SonarQube, JUnit, TestNG, Marketo, and fail-safe reports, surefire reports is absolutely very important. That's if you come from the IT background, if you are already working in Java programming background or .NET programming background or testing background, at least you can understand the power of continuous integration. That's why source code management, release, build automation, release automation, unit test cases, code coverage, binary artifactory. These are all so essential to the CI. Once CI is part is over, then only go for delivery, right? If there is no CI, then how can you perform the CD? That's when the CI, every DevOps engineer should understand the Git, GitHub, Maven, and SonarQube, Nexus, JFrog Artifactory, JUnit, Mockito, TestNG. Lots of tools are there, depends on your application requirement. So most of the guys may not aware of the dev background. So forget about dev background. Now people are talking about operational background. Operational background in the sense servers, networks, storage, the load balancers, so high availability, scalability, then security, then monitoring, then performance. Then these part also very high, because that is a broad range of coverage is there, right? Even clusters, cluster configurations, then configuration management, provisioning, change management, then installation, non-installation, reinstallation, patching. So what do you know then? So you never understand any one of the types side, like dev side or operations side, but simply say like on the fly learning always very dangerous. That's why DevOps is not simple role, guys. That's why you have to closely understand so many essential things. It's a big stream. So that's if in a simple layman standards in the beginning always I said, right, just like you are a circus man, you have to understand the various behavior of the animals, right? Unless until the right project is come at your face, you can't understand the power of DevOps. That's why don't give the uh, uh, a statement, hey, this tool is only for DevOps, this work is only for DevOps. No. See, it is always scanning each and every files, right? So once the SonarQube is going to scan it, it generates. See, CPD. What is a CPD? SonarQube. Sorry, Anil, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So as per the morning question you asked, like, who will initiate you, or how I know that which part of the which?
Yeah,
How
yeah,
can
yeah,
you
yeah.
how can you measure it? So when I perform simply MVN sonar colon sonar, it is performing so many things, right? Like
Yes.
there is a lot of plugin is there. Sonar come up with universal plugins, right? In earlier we have individual plugins are there. Instead of working for different plugins, like for example, I want to go with the statement coverage, branch coverage, path coverage, conditional coverage, cyclomatic complexity. People doesn't know anything about coding measurement, but people are saying that I learned the sonar key. What is the use of simply MVN sonar colon sonar? It is a matter of 1 hour only. You simply download the JDK 11 or 8 and you set the environment variable called as a JDK, and you download the Maven and you perform the MVN sonar colon sonar. And people are saying that code is available at the GitHub. You don't want to worry. You just configure at the Jenkins and you write down the 5 lines of code, and or 10 lines or 100 lines or 2000 lines of source code in the Groovy, and you are going to deploy it. During that, who will modify it? What you are going to scan it? Why they given a SonarQube? Why they given a Docker file? Everything is on the fly. Everything is on the fly. That's why people are trying to hit your face logical in the technical round. So we don't know what is a quality profile, what is a quality gate, cyclomatic complexity profile, then what is a quality profile gate, how can I set the if condition. So a lot of thing is there, right? It is not only Jenkins, it is not only SonarQube, it is not only Kubernetes, it is not only a ELK or Splunk or Kafka. You take any tool. That's in the morning session I said, first you try to derive the boundary inside your circle and try to do it. Now I just got the output called as a true success. I go back to my, see if I refresh it, now see there is a pet clinic project, it is submitted. How it is submitted? How you configure the SonarQube inside the pom.xml file? Then how can you configure the SonarQube host URL inside the pom.xml file? How SonarQube attribute is going to generate the binaries? Then how you administrate the SonarQube? How to run the SonarQube CLI commands? How to define the quality profiles? How to define the quality gates? For example, and right now $140, 12 vulnerabilities, 231 code smells, coverage 0.0, duplication is 63, and total lines of code in the JavaScript, CSS, XML, JS with HTML is 57,000 kilobytes of code. So KLOC, lines of code in kilobytes. Now we call it KDSI, kilo deliver source instructions. So then how to define my own profile? Suppose if you go with the quality gates. So right now I'm going to create my own quality gate. Suppose CI CD pet clinic. So I'm going to with what? So you need to define condition first. Click on add condition. My condition is complexity coverage. Conditional coverage, if my source code is less than 90%, let us try to block it. Try to make it code as a failure. Add condition. So here, what is all actually? See, if I click on all, whatever the projects we configure in the SonarQube, You don't know how to configure the project. We don't know how to configure the issues. We don't know how to configure the rule. We don't know how to configure the quality profiles, administration. Why the developer doesn't understand? They never understand, guys. They are always busy with the building the source code, making the so much source code effective with the unit test cases. As a DevOps engineer, you should sit with them. You need to administrate. We need to add so many things, right? So I'm just trying to set this quality profile to this project environment. I'm simply, yes, I configure the project condition. Now go back and try to rerun. Are you getting? So any question till now? I think so. Due to connection timeout, it is. Give a couple of seconds. So it's a matter of 3 hours, guys. You take any pipeline in the world, either ECS, ECR, EKS, or maybe a API gateways, or Lambda deployment, or Elastic Beanstalk deployment, or Jira with the ELK Splunk configuration inside the Jenkins, or you can only take the Jira, or you can take only code commits, code build, code deploy, code pipeline, or you take like any GitLab or GitHub Actions, or you can take Azure DevOps or GCP DevOps, or you can take any serverless Lambda deployment with a Python, or you take pure Groovy scripting part inside the Jenkins, or you can work with the CI/CD part in the GitLab, or maybe Circle CI or Go CD, or maybe Azure repositories, or maybe ARM templates, or CloudFormation templates, or Terraform, with what do you call as Terraform with Ansible with AWS combination, or you can go with only EFK and Grafana and Prometheus with the Helm deployment, or maybe Docker Helm with the Kubernetes deployment, or only ECS, ECR, EKS deployment with auto-scaling load balancer, or any blue-green deployment. So lots of combinations are there, which includes even only webhook deployment only. So GitHub webhooks, Jenkins webhooks, Nexus webhooks, and Docker hubs, right? Then Docker hub is going to get the latest code from the GitHub. Whenever the modification is done, Docker hub automatically generates the image and push into the Helm, and automatically you can deploy into the Kubernetes cluster. So what you are trying to target in the GitHub DevOps, what you are going to learn it, and how your career is going to start in the DevOps. For that, what is your pillar? So based on that only you have to understand things and you have to practice it. Otherwise, what happens? It's simply like how the sudo su hyphen apt cd pet clinic. See, I got the target folder. Why you got the target? You don't know. Simply they're saying like clean it. What happens when you see the clean? Oh, clean is a life cycle. What kind of life cycle it is? So clean life cycle. Then what are the different plugins are there? Yeah, pre-clean, clean, and post-clean. Pre-clean, clean, post-clean. That's what is the life cycle? We don't know. Collection of phases. If you are trying to learn the Maven, what happens? People are trying to comment. You don't learn the Maven. It is a time wasting. That is the developer work. Okay. Coming to the Jenkins. What you are learning? Groovy. Don't learn the Groovy. No need to learn too much Groovy. Just only on the fly. Okay. Forget about. Come to the Kubernetes. What you are learning Kubernetes? Okay. At least are you going to expertise on the Kubernetes? No. That's why on the fly learning is always very dangerous. Again, I'm repeating as per my personal experience. So it's a matter of 3 hours only, right? Then why you are spending 4 months and 5 months and 6 months? A foolish. So it's not like that because it is a subject. It is a minimum time for learning the DevOps. Minimum 4 to 5 months, right? Minimum. Because this is a bush. Now see, now I'm going to perform MVN sonar:sonar. Now this time I set the quality gate condition at my SonarQube. So if the condition is less than 90%, it means if my quality gate is must reach the 90. If it is less than 90, then I can mark as a failure. Then I can send email notification to the developer. How? Then how to write down the Groovy code for that? Simply no. You simply run this ambient sonar colon sonar. So that's why first, if you start the CI/CD, what is a Git? Git is a local repository. What is a GitHub? Is a remote repository. What is a mammon? Build automation. What is a Nexus? So it's a binary artifact repository. What is a SonarQube? Static code analysis. What is a Docker for container handling? What is a container orchestration Kubernetes? What is a deployment and configuration management? Ansible. What is a monitoring? ELK and what monitor? Log monitoring. If it is log monitoring, ELK and EFK, Fluentd or something. If it is application monitoring, database monitoring, like you can use Grafana and Prometheus. Ticketing tool Jira. Over. Scripting, shell scripting. But how these tools are integrated? See, quality gate profiles, active profiles, 331 files are indexed, load metrics, tool configure it. How to configure it? So this time it is a failure. Why? If you go, so the quality gate is passed for earlier only, but still here if you're looking at the error, see, please provide the compiler. Looking at this, please provide the compiler classes for your project with the Java sonar.java.binaries. It means first we have to compile it. Then what happens when you fire the sonar colon sonar? No, simply fire it. That's before sonar. Why should I compile it? Because it requires dart class files. What is a dart class file? If you know the Java, then only can understand. Very fundamental basics. Java is a platform independent. To generate the bytecode, we need to compile it. Whenever you compile it automatically, bytecode will be generated. Such dart class files I have introduced to the target folder of my classes. Such classes are recognized by my SonarQube. Oh, SonarQube requires the dart class files. So if the dot class files are not produced earlier, I got this error. Now what I done? Again I compile it. But why it is got error? Earlier I removed it, ambient clean, right? So what happens when you perform the clean lifecycle? What happens if you perform the default lifecycle? What happens if you perform the site lifecycle? So forget about Maven. If they given a Jenkins, if they given a dev environment for you, you should closely working with the dev server and UAT, sorry, QA. That moment you have to understand all these stuffs, right? So that's why. So simply, it's very easy to crack the interview. You can explain the CI/CD flow. You take the Jenkins and you integrate all the tools, and 3 hours is enough to explain your CI/CD flow. So if they ask the in-depth question, then you need more subject on each and every tool.
Sir, we have confident build file only, right? We haven't written any script or something, right?
In this demonstration, I configure the SonarQube, Sonar inside the pom.xml file, as well as sonar.binary properties. Then I submitted this property to the SonarQube.
Okay.
Yeah, there I define I define the quality profile. I define one condition, right? So this time I should get my SonarQube failed because code is going to be failed because it doesn't have 90% code coverage.
Yeah, before that we don't have class files. You
Yes.
compile it.
So conditions are very important. So code coverage, you have to. That's why you need to play with the developers, right? So even some of the organization, they completely give the SonarQube with the Jenkins integration. They'll ask you please write down the groovy code with the developer side, because 90% of the project is success once you perform CA successfully. So once you perform the CI successfully, then environment provisioning, configuration management, delivery, deployment, scalability, availability, auto scaling, load balance, security, provisioning, change management, right? This is again part of the operational team. That's why, are you working for the operational side or dev side or both side? If you say both side, then you need to know everything from the scratch to ending. If you only from operational side, then you have to understand more on Ansible with the Terraform and Cloud. So that's why people must have some common sense. If I learn everything, how to explore my resume. If I learn only something, how to explore my resume. So simply say because of this topic was not covered and that is good, that is not bad. Who are you, man? Who are you trying to control the need of the application demand? Go inside the company, talk to the professionals, looking at the environment, understand their need, visualize the power of the DevOps. Then only you try to make your voice so stronger. Who said only one tool is only enough? That is not at all. That is immature thinking. If you want to become a professional, if you want to become an asset to the organization as a effective DevOps engineer, your visions, your vocabulary, your discipline, your practices, your POC, and your templates, your views, your methodology, your standards, your convention should always dynamic. That's why DevOps is again a continuous growth career in the IT industry. It is never end up it. Who are trying to say there is no DevOps, there is no career in this, and immaturity, right? So don't simply foolishly say that. Not only DevOps, you take any technology, right? You understand the maturity of the organization process demanded, and looking at the dynamic world, how the digitalization is going to be hit in the global world, how the servers are provisioning, right? How the scalability is going on, how the network is expanding, right? That movement in this couple of seconds or minutes or days and months, how these applications are deployed to the production, how this agile is really hits the industry, right? Then how this industry was adapted to the agile and super agile. Then what are the problem in the agile, right? How this entire huge infrastructure provisioning is going to create a single click with the cloud or maybe automation with the Terraform. That movement, how many servers, networks, databases, storage, and teams are integrated in the networks, how all these machines are configured, and how these things are integrated, how these configurations are impacting on the delays of the deploy, or how these configuration issues are generating the errors, and what kind of compatible issues are going on, how these configuration files are reflecting the needs of the various teams, why the teams are not properly integrated, how the teams are facing so many complex issues for migrating the things. When you are migrating the thing, what kind of application you are migrating, database migration, server migration. While migrating, where is the data, what kind of data you are doing, what kind of data formats you are going to handle it. For handling the data, what happens to your authorization, authentication, the access control, what kind of security policies you are defining it, right? How these security policies are enforced to the teams, how you define the granularity of the permissions. What not? Who are you? I'm a global person. I'm all in one. That is the power of DevOps engineer, right? That's why who adopted the philosophy of the DevOps into your minds, even into your blood. You should be very, very down to earth. You should always try to learn so many things. That's why I always believe it. I always love it to fall down at basics every day, every minute, because we are learning complete dev to the production environment. Go back to this one and refresh now. right? Previously, now condition is satisfied or failed. Go back and the quality profiles, sorry, gates. See, right now 90% still condition is passed. So let me delete. Suppose go to the add condition and here see if it is a coverage, condition coverage, condition to cover, new code, see line coverage, line to cover, skipped unit test, uncovered condition. How can you understand, Anil, as per your question? See, duplications, I want to duplicate blocks, duplicate lines, issues, how many block issues are there? So how can I understand these conditions? How to define it? How to make it? That's why simply without understanding the rules and issues and quality profiles and quality gates. See, if you go with administration, Nexus is a server, right? Then how to define all these policies? Got my question? So,
Yes, sir.
yeah, this is just configuration part, right? So we successfully integrated Git, GitHub, Maven, then SonarQube. Let us try to talk about the Nexus. As per the block diagram, another 10 minutes, guys. I will going to close it. This is so. Then once the SonarQube done successfully, you have to generate the packages. Then you have to deploy the packages into the Nexus. So what is a Nexus? Why we need a Nexus? Nexus configuration. What is the differences between the GitHub and Nexus? And what is the differences between binary artifactory and normal artifacts? We will see later. Now, let us try to create a new server. Now I'm going to this time Nexus AWS. So as said, right, you need a more configuration. T2.media. Create a key pair. So you can use JFrog Artifactory also. Then launch configuration, launch instance. As usual, try to log in as a root user, and if you can work with the JDK 8 or JDK 11, then try to download the Nexus binary and starts the Nexus as a services and set the port called 8081 and log in as credentials and try to configure the pom.xml file inside. Try to configure your Nexus details inside the SonarQube. Sorry, Maven. So I have prepared already Nexus here. So go back to You can use Nexus for storing artifacts as well as images also, guys. Okay, go here. So you can choose your RQ. This is the link. Before this, just go back to the server and try to check. So okay, connect and copy this one. Go back to the downloads where our PEM file Nexus server is installed, downloaded. Go to the git bash. I launched the new session for connecting to the Nexus server. Yes. Again, as a root user and update the packages. Then go back to document and try to install either JDK 11 or 8 or 10, whatever the compatible version. Okay, now try to install it. Now go to the link and try to copy the link. Now this is select the link, which is called Unix RQ for Unix and Linux. Okay, wget ls. Try to untar it. xvf. So tar commands, zip command, unzip command, jetcat, cat, jet, gunzip, zjet, gzip, and what? There is a restore, dump, right? rsync. These are the very essential backup commands. You have to learn it. Right, so rm minus rf of Nexus. Now let us try to set the permissions. One second, guys. See, navigate to the 4.3 or what? Go and check. Yep, so see the Nexus. Now see the permission. What are the permission for this folder using getFACL command? So a lot of people never understand getFACL. Who are beginner I'm talking. Who are in the industry, getFACL, setFACL is a quite common commands. Okay, so I think so. One is a root, group is a root, user permission, group permission, other permission. Then I'm trying to change the ownership for the user. So here, if you're looking at, there are two folders are created, guys. When you go to the app directory, see one is a Nexus as well as the Sonar type work. We need these two folders to work for the SonarQube. If any user wants to work with these two folders at Nexus level, you need to get the permissions. You need to change the ownership permission. Okay, copy this. Recursively. See, change ownership. User is EC2, group also EC2 on two folders, Nexus and Sonar type work. Okay, now go to the then see the list of files. Go to the bin directory. See, there is a two files are there. Not two. So contrib Nexus RC. By default, Nexus RC is required some kind of username so that who starts the user. So I'm going to start Nexus as a root or admin or any normal user as a guest. See, for this you try to open this RC file. Now you have to configure your user. Run as a which user? EC2-user, right? Escape WQ. Okay, now once you set the user, you have to start the services, right? Go. sh nexus.start. So what says that EC2 user does not exist. Okay, login as a root user, right? Yes, su-EC2-user edpt ls cd nexus ls ls sh. What's happened? Why it's unable to log in? Oh, EC2 underscore EC2-user, right? EC2-user, man. L pwd ls as such. So it's a mistake, spelling mistake. So now Nexus is started, and more on Nexus is going to start with running on which port? 8001, right? For this, I want to modify my inbound rules. Go back to the EC2 instance and go to the Nexus EC2 server and select our inbound rules. By default, it is configured with the 22. Let us edit your inbound rules so that incoming request coming to the EC2 server on port 8081 is there. EC2 is trying to connect you to the Nexus server. Save rules. Now go to the dashboard. Now choose our Nexus as a target server, copy the public IP, and go to the browser, hit the IP address with the port 8081. Yes, continue to the site. Now see, my Nexus repository manager is started. So by default, if you want to sign it, just click on sign in. See, admin. Your passwords, your admin user password is located in this directory. Copy this up to this one, I think so, because that is a file, right? So go back to here and cd. See, Sonar type work. Okay. cd apt cd cd nexus 3. There's a file called as a admin.password. Copy this password for the admin. The copy. Go back to the username is admin and password is this one, and click on sign in. Yeah, just click on next. The new password, suppose admin123. Please remember this password because these passwords are very essential to configure into the pom.xml file. Why? Because Maven is going to integrate with the Nexus, so that Maven requires these credentials. Admin123. Right now I'm going to disable my anonymous access. Click on next, finish it. Now just click on sign out and cross verify our credentials. Admin123. Okay, right. So now my Sonar type Nexus repost is running. My other servers, 2 servers are ready. Maven server. Now question is how Maven and Nexus going to communicate. Okay, so how the Maven and Nexus going to communicate, and when you communicate with the Nexus, what kind of uh, how this Nexus is going to store our artifacts? Because why I'm using Nexus? I'm using Nexus for storing my artifacts, right? What kind of artifacts is a jar or var or here with images or without images with along with the pom.xml file, where I have to configure it in the Nexus in the form of 2 repositories. One is Maven release repositories, Maven snapshot repositories. If you click here, there is a repositories, right? See, Maven releases, Maven snapshot. So you need to configure this Maven snapshot and Maven releases part inside the pom.xml file. I'll tell you one thing, snapshot is under development and release for the production. So what is a snapshot? How these snapshots are configured? How the Maven pom.xml file recognize this snapshot and the releases? Then how the Maven is going to interact with the Sonar type server? Then how the Sonar server is going to access this? It allows this Maven. How the Maven is going to recognize and sends the user credentials as admin123 to the Nexus. That's it. This is integration part. You have to configure in the pom.xml file. For this, here, if you're looking at the snapshot, so if you take copy, this is the snapshot URL, guys. This is the snapshot URL. For what? Snapshot. As well as if you go to release, this is also release. So you need to tell where to store your generated artifacts into the Nexus. This is called release. But how the Maven is going to understand URL for storing the snapshot, URL for storing the releases, right? That's where you have to configure something about the pom.xml file. So right now you just understand configuration. No need to worry about internal things. We'll discuss that. In the pom.xml file, I have to define the releases and the snapshots. So you need to add some key elements in the form of distribution management. You no need to worry about it because end of the day, what you are going to say, Maven is continuously produce the artifacts. Such artifacts are under development, such artifacts are under release, right? Continuous development, continuous integration, continuous testing. Till the defects are closed, we have to run the cycle. Every cycle is going to be reproduced so many artifacts. How these artifacts are continuously generating by the Maven, how these continuously artifacts are loading into the Nexus, how Jenkins is going to understand the particular artifact is under latest or under development, how this process is going to link up, how this lifecycle is going to repeat in the Jenkins, how this Maven and the SonarQube is going to talk. That's why how to differentiate which is a snapshot, which is a releases, right? Then what is a build automation, release automation? So much things are there. It is not just like simply running 4 commands and simply say that I know the Nexus and I know the Docker or Maven. So you take the list of key elements for telling to tell to the Maven about Nexus details, Nexus storage repositories. For this, you have a distribution section is there, right? You always remember it. So you take this one, see this is the distribution element. You have to add this pom.xml file, guys. So in this pom.xml file, see, you have to add the, see, distribution management. There is a snapshot and there is a repository. See, always remember it, there are 2 sections are required. Suppose Anil, who are already working in the industry, they know. Suppose how DevOps engineer know that this is for snapshot, this is for release. If developers are missed, you have to integrate with them. You have to ask them, hey, have you configured the snapshot and releases element in the POM? Or define any dependencies? If dependencies are failure, then how to inform to the developer and says that, hey, dependency was missed. That's why talk to the people who are working in the IT industry with a genuine experience. Then only can listen it. Then only can understand what is the real fact. So whenever I perform mvn deploy command, earlier we perform mvn tomcat :deploy. Now we are going to perform deploy. Whenever you run the deploy plugin with the deployment phase, deployment, phase, deployment plugin, deployment goal. When I perform mvn deploy, how the Maven going to deploy this pom.xml file along with the snapshot or releases? That's why in the Nexus, you already configure the releases and repositories are there. Or you create your own repositories and configure it. For this, we need to add the snapshot repository as well as we need to add the repositories under distribution section. So what is the snapshot URL? This is copy this URL because 8081 is a standard. This is the snapshot, right? And this is the release one. So snapshot repository URL as well as the release URL. You keep this element, go back to your pom.xml file. So go to this, sudo cd opt, now cd paclinic project ls vi pom.xml file. See, in this.
Sir, I'm not sharing your screen.
Already shared, man. Let me stop and now. Anil.
Sir, no, sir. I'm not able to see your screen.
Sir, we can see.
Okay, someone see. So I think so. Re-log in one more time, Anil. So one thing I will tell you, you have to update the pom.xml file. One second. So here, let me. You can update with the Nexus or JFrog Artifactory also. So whatever the file I was copied, see, distribution management. Under distribution management, I'm going to add the snapshot repository URL for the Nexus as well as the releases, right? Now, once you add this key element, then you have to update one more information, Nexus server details, because Maven is going to communicate to the Tomcat. Maven is going to communicate to the JFrog. Maven is going to communicate to the proxy server. Maven is going to communicate to the Nexus. How? That's why you have to configure it. So now here in the Maven, there is a one directory called as a conf directory. Under conf directory, there is a one file called as settings.xml. That's the Maven architecture. No one knows Maven architecture. Simply open settings.xml. Your mentor is saying that. So in order to communicate with the server, you need to modify and update the file information, like server information. What is a server? What is a proxy? What is a mirror? What is a profile? What is a distribution? What is a plugin repository? What is a repository? What is a profile? What is user profile? How many types of profile per project, per user, global, dependency injection? No, forget about it. Jenkins? No, forget about it. What you forget? What you are going to learn it. So someone asked the question about this, we never done it. Someone is ready to learn it. Sorry, why you are required? Someone is trying to explore it. Why you are required? Everything is escaping. Everything is on the fly. Everything is ready-made work. Obviously, results are also ready-made. So that's a problem. Now see, in the server side, you have to add the elements. You see, in the server section, you have to define your IDs. Looking at how to generate, we'll see in the relaxed mode later. So I would like to see. So this is, so copy this. One server for snapshot, one for release, right? Because user is going to deploy var format to the Nexus. There are two types of repositories: release repositories and snapshot repositories. Okay, here, right? Not here. So you copy this. So server, snapshot, admin123, and the server for releases, right? Okay. Now tell me, the last question is over. Then here, let me remove the target using FireMNP. Now tell me, how can you say that Maven is going to send the snapshot repositories? And how Maven is going to send the release repositories? Now see, just wait. 2 minutes, guys. I think so it's going to be over. Now see, in the pom.xml file, see, there is a version, right? Now I do one thing. Snapshots. Just give the snapshots. Escape : WQ. Now fire a command called mvn deploy. That's why snapshot, that is also a release, that is also automation, you have to do it. But basically, due to lack of real-time exposure and real-time terminology, real-time implementation, whatever you learnt, whatever you listen it, whatever you talk, you feel it, that is only DevOps. No, it is not at all advisable. That is called foolish explanation, even though if I speak it. You build one application, you test one application, you release an application in the IT industry, then you can understand power of automation, how many teams are working. So if you feel complexity, it is a complexity. If you feel on the fly explanation, yes. We open the Linux server, we configure the Git, GitHub, Maven, Nexus, SonarQube, and we install the software, we set the environment variables, we configure some XML files, and we perform some commands over. So if you feel complexity, complexity. If you feel interest, it will create interest. So everything is in our hand only. Now earlier, Anil and other teams, we perform MVN Tomcat 7 colon deploy, right? Anil or Veera. So
Yes.
now we are not deploying to the server. We are deploying to the Nexus server, not like a app server, right? That's in the real time. We need to keep on your update your Nexus or JFrog with the snapshot or releases, right? That's why they will ask this question: releases and snapshot. Differentiate how Maven generates. What is the build automation, release automation? How you perform the release automation? How these stacks are changing? So much thing is there. So building the where. So in the production or pre-production, definitely takes more than 3 to 4 hours, guys. If it is a large scale applications and based on the lines of code you written. So total unit test case also clear. There is 59 test cases are there. Now it's generating the package and going to deploy it. See, looking at guys, uploaded to Nexus releases. It's going to be moved to the releases only, not snapshots. Go and see. If you go to the browse section, there's a browse the release. 4.2 snapshots. It's go for releases. I do one thing. Go to the pom.xml file. Go to the pom.xml file, vi pom.xml. Let me snapshot, remove the S, just fire one more time. So by changing the tag, Maven is going to differentiate. So by changing the names, you can differentiate which is a snapshot, which is a releases. So this is the big project, guys. Almost 70 lines of 60 to 70 lines of source code is there, which includes the backend and Spring framework with the advanced Spring MVC annotations. Instead of taking small jar, I taken just like a web application as a var. See, so there is a deployment plugins and so due to network slow. So do you understand, guys, the procedure till now?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions to ask me? That's it. It takes some time because of network speed. So by changing the snapshots and releases, we can deploy the packages into your Nexus here. shown right. So right now this is the release repositories. So if you go with the snapshot, right now there is no snapshots because still it is under executing. So we'll see. So I hope you got the idea about how this CA process works. So tomorrow, if it is feasible for us, just we integrate the entire tool stack inside the Jenkins with the Groovy. With a single click, we'll try to download and we'll perform compilation, unit testing, then quality gate verification and Nexus. See here, what it says that fail to retrieve remote. So remove this snapshot also. So later we'll discuss. Though by changing these two attributes, you can easily perform. So I will wait another 2 minutes. If you have any doubt, ask me. Otherwise, hope you uh, got the fundamental idea about how this 6 tools like Git, GitHub, Maven, SonarQube, Nexus, Java integrated on the Linux platform in order to understand the CA process. Okay. Thank you guys. You can leave.
Thank you.
Most welcome. Who is Suresh Surya?
Hello. Yeah, it's me, sir.
Yeah, tell me, Suresh.
I'm from Java background. Today I joined this section.
Oh, great. So, Java developer. Okay. Working on microservices or what?
Yeah, microservice.
Okay.
And even as well as DevOps also.
Great. Great, great, great.
My project is Ali Britain. Still,
Okay.
I was hanging in the project itself only, but I couldn't able to understand properly. What
Okay.
you're explaining here, everything is same. I
Okay.
worked that project. Even Maven build, Maven install,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
artifact, Jeff, and
Yeah, yeah.
everything. It
Yeah.
was very good. I need time to understand, but I didn't get any time there
Okay.
in the project.
Okay.
Actually, I went it like backdoor,
Hmm.
mm,
Okay.
so I couldn't able to understand properly.
Okay. Actually,
Actually, yeah,
yeah, most of the times people are skipping that part. So as per my process is, DevOps is anything happen. It can be anything, right? You should
mm,
not like only dev or it cannot be ops, right? What exactly project requirement you have to move yourself, right? So
mm,
especially for your case, you work for the build part. In the sense, you may work for the dev environment.
mm,
If you work for the dev environment, lots of scenarios you have to be automate.
mm,
Lots of scenarios, not only generating the packages and not only storing the artifact into the Nexus, you need to maintain the releases, snapshots, dependency injections, deployments, and tags maintenance, release maintenance, and GitHub hooks creations. And how your work goes, so at least our guys will understand. I think so. My voice is really touch you.
yes, yeah.
That's the reason. Yeah, yeah. So, what is your day to work and how it? If you have a time, you just share it.
Mm, okay. Actually, as now I am using personal laptop.
Okay. No issue. Just like tell me 1 or 2 minutes. What is your current role and what are the tools you are using and which environment you're working on? What kind of experience you got it? What is your good experience, bad experience? What you are trying to share to your friends or to our team? because I decided to channelize this one. So that's why it's a continuous KTs. So I'm trying to welcome all our professionals across the globe so that by mutually share our knowledge, experience to others, at least we can understand where we are, how to improve it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead. If you have a time, just expand 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay. Actually, I have experience like 3.5.
Mm.
Currently, I joined on L&T. I working for Alimentation project. There it was have developer for
Mm.
the applications, and there I working for like microservices, fully
Yeah.
based on microservices.
One
And
second.
we are
1 minute. 1 minute. Sorry to interrupt you. See, guys, now the code is uploaded to the releases, right? So releases. So I 1 minute. I will stop it. See, in the pom.xml file, you need to be understand this version, guys. This version is so essential, right? So if you remove this snapshot, it will directly hit to the releases only. If you give the snapshot, I will tell you the attribute. Based on this attribute, whether it is a release or snapshot will be differentiated. But this is bad practice. This is a manual approach. But there is a automation, is the release automation in the Maven. Like there is a MVN release plugins are there. So that is one of the great important point. A lot of people may not aware who are working in non-IT. If you come to the IT first time, even though you may not understand, so this release process creation, binary build creation, we'll see later. Hmm? Thank you. Yeah, please continue, Suresh.
yeah. Just I'm working for the application developer. It
Oh,
is like calibrating project where all the application will built in based on DevOps and microservices. My role is like fully like DevOps as well as microservices both.
excellent.
Uh, in that we are deploying everything in the Kubernetes
Excellent. Yeah.
things, and we have the Grafana,
Yes.
Prometheus for
Yes.
monitoring the things,
Yes. Yes.
and Kafka for messaging delivering
Yeah.
in the type of the stream.
Yes.
Everything is up to date, but thing is that I have lack of knowledge in this.
You need to practice. You need to explore it too.
Yes.
So as a Java microservice developer, because service discovery, service development, service monitoring, logging, okay, then there is a service ISTO are using.
Yes, ISDO. ISDO.
Yeah, ISTO. So because such concepts are very basics to us as a microservice developer, right? Even service scaling, service deployment, service monitoring, and are using any Eureka servers or
No, no, no. Grizzly server they are using. They're
Grizzly?
not using Tomcat.
Oh, okay. No, no, not Tomcat. Eureka.
No, no, no. Eureka.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So if you are using service, microservice, obviously Docker and Kubernetes very essential.
Yes.
So that's why if you're looking at as a Java developer, GitHub, we are using the Maven, we are using the JUnit test cases, we are using
Yes.
the Mockito, we are using the SOAP, we are using the REST API, we are
Yeah.
using the Docker, we are using the Kubernetes. That's why I always says to the community, so who fools, right? So DevOps is our integral part of our work, right?
Mhm.
So that's why if developers absolutely came to the monitoring with a single development to the monitoring, developers are always busy, right? That's why who are really have edge skills, right? Both cutting edge
Mhm.
skills. Then you can easily get the job, and not only job, lot of salaries you can demand it.
Mhm.
That's why development is there, integration, unit testing, integration, system, acceptance, delivery, deployment, release, configuration management, monitoring. All the things will be done with a single click only.
Mhm.
So if you go to the GitHub repository, we have Jenkins file, Docker file, Kubernetes file, YAML files for the monitoring, and even infrastructure provisioning is there. So everything is in on hand only. So, but the thing is, exploration of the tools and configurations, networking, and storage and scripting part especially. Scripting is very essential for the DevOps engineer. Of course, for you it's not difficult. As a Java developer, you can easily crack it. Okay, so thank you guys. I hope it will help you a lot. Thanks for your time. Thank you so much.